You're not broke, you're not bad with money, you're just running outdated software. Here's what I mean. Right now, somewhere in your monthly expenses, there are 3 to 5 charges you approved years ago that no longer make financial sense. But your brain never got the update. Not because you're careless, because you made a smart decision once, filed it under good choice, and never revisited it. And here's the brutal part. The companies you're paying know this. They're counting on it. Today, I'm gonna hand you a wrecking ball. We're going through 9 money moves that were genuinely smart advice in 2018 and are genuinely costing you money in 2026. Not opinions, math, real numbers. And by the end, you'll know exactly which ones apply to you. My name is Findolax. In this channel, we decode the psychology and mechanics of building wealth that actually compounds. Let's get into it. But before we go any further, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. We drop financial breakdowns like this every week, and you don't want to miss the next one. Also, drop a comment below. Which of these 9 money traps do you think is going to sting the most? I'll be reading every single one. Point 1. The streaming subscription trap. The setup. Let's start with the one that hits closest to home for almost everyone watching. Streaming services. Back in 2015, Netflix at $8 a month with a genuine act of financial rebellion against bloated $150 cable bills. It was one of the best consumer deals in modern history. Here's where we are now. Netflix Premium, $22.99. Disney Plus, $13.99. Hulu, $17.99. Max, $15.69, Paramount Plus, $11.99, Peacock, $7.99, Apple TV Plus, $9.99, Amazon Prime Video, bundled into a $139 annual Prime fee, Spotify, $11.99, a cloud storage plan and a fitness app because you needed those too. Run the total. A household with 5 or 6 of these services, plus music, storage, and a fitness app, is spending $280 to $380 every single month on subscriptions. That's over $4,000 a year. The psychology behind it. This is called the drip pricing effect, a legitimate behavioral finance phenomenon. Each charge is small enough that it flies under your mental pain threshold. A $14.99 charge doesn't feel like a decision, it feels like background noise. Companies have entire pricing psychology teams designing this invisibility. The goal is for you to forget the charge exists until they raise the price, at which point most people shrug and keep paying. The most damning stat? Research from the subscription economy consistently finds that consumers underestimate their total monthly subscription spend by 40 to 80%. You think you're paying $80, you're probably paying $160. The updated move. Audit everything tonight. Literally open your bank statement and highlight every recurring charge. Cancel anything you haven't opened in the last 30 days. Then adopt a rotation strategy. Subscribe to one service, binge what you want in 30 days, cancel, move on. You'll consume the same amount of content at roughly 25% of the cost, a third of the competition. Redirecting $300 a month into a low-cost index fund at a historical 8% return over 20 years compounds to over $230,000. Not because you sacrificed, because you rotated. Point 2. Airbnb, when cheaper got expensive. The setup. This one requires an honest audit of how far Airbnb has drifted from its original value proposition. 5 years ago, booking an Airbnb meant a clean apartment in a great neighborhood for $100 a night, versus a hotel at $200. The math was obvious, the choice was obvious. Then the fee stacking began. A listing advertised at $120 per night reveals at checkout a $65 cleaning fee, a $28 service fee, local taxes, and occasionally a host fee that appears out of nowhere. What started at $120 ends at $240 to $280 per night. That hotel at $200 suddenly looks reasonable, especially when it includes housekeeping, a 24-hour front desk, a loyalty rewards program, and flexible cancellation with no hidden charges. The kicker nobody talks about. Here's the part that genuinely defies logic. Guests are paying premium cleaning fees, sometimes $100 or more per stay, and then being handed a checkout list that includes washing all the dishes, stripping the beds, bagging the trash, running a load of laundry, and in some cases, sweeping the floors. You are literally paying for a cleaning service and then cleaning. The data backs this frustration. Airbnb's own research in 2023 showed a significant rise in guest complaints about fee transparency, which directly led to their total price display update. That update didn't make the fees smaller, it just made them visible earlier. The updated move: stop treating Airbnb as the default and hotels as the backup. Reverse that. For any trip longer than 4 nights, run a true apples-to-apples comparison. Airbnb total cost including all fees versus hotel total including taxes and any resort fees. For trips under 4 nights, hotels now frequently win on price and almost always win on convenience. For longer stays or group trips with kitchen access needed, Airbnb can still make sense. The rule is always calculate total cost, never nightly rate. Point 3. The always buy used cars rule is broken. The context matters here. This one requires nuance, so let's be precise. Buying used cars instead of new was, and largely still is, one of the most reliable wealth preservation moves in personal finance. New cars historically lose 15 to 25% of their value in the first year. That depreciation hit on a $40,000 car is $6,000 to $10,000 in the first 12 months. But here's what changed. The COVID-19 pandemic exposed just how fragile global auto supply chains were. When semiconductor shortages hit, new car inventory collapsed and used car prices spiked 40 to 50% between 2021 and 2022. The Manheim Used Vehicle Value Index, the gold standard for used car pricing, hit all-time highs in January 2022. While prices have partially corrected since then, they have not returned to pre-pandemic levels for many models. The new calculation: a 3-year-old version of a popular model that would have cost $14,000 in 2019 now frequently lists at $21,000 to $24,000. Meanwhile, dealerships on new models are offering 0 to 1.9% APR financing incentives and full manufacturer warranties. The gap has narrowed to the point where the blanket always buy used cars rule no longer applies universally. The updated move is to run the actual numbers on the specific car, the specific year, and the specific financing rate. Compare 3-year-old used price plus maintenance risk plus higher insurance versus new price plus warranty plus low APR. Sometimes used still wins by a mile. Sometimes the math is closer than you think. Point 4. The college degree ROI problem. The most uncomfortable number in this video. In 2005, the average student loan debt at graduation was approximately $20,000. The median starting salary for college graduates was around $36,000. Lifetime earnings premium for degree holders over non-graduates was estimated at over $1 million. The math worked. The investment returned. Here's 2026. The average federal student loan debt at graduation now exceeds $37,000, according to Education Data Initiative. But the distribution matters more than the average. Roughly 1/3 of borrowers carry over $50,000. Graduate school borrowers frequently carry $100,000 to $200,000. Starting salaries in many humanities, social sciences, and liberal arts fields have not kept pace with tuition inflation, which has outrun general consumer inflation for 4 decades consecutively. The brutal ROI math. If you borrowed $60,000 for a degree where the average starting salary is $38,000 and your monthly loan payment is $650, you are spending 20% of your gross income servicing educational debt before taxes, rent, food, or transportation. That is not an investment. That is a financial sentence. And yet, and this is the nuance that gets lost, specific degrees remain exceptional investments. Engineering, nursing, computer science, data science, and skilled trades with certifications consistently show positive 5- and 10-year ROI. The problem isn't college. The problem is treating all degrees as equivalent investments without analyzing the return. The updated playbook. Before signing any student loan, run this calculation. Expected starting salary in target field minus monthly loan payment minus cost of living in target city. If that number is negative or below $1,500 take-home per month, the investment doesn't work at that debt level. Options: community college for 2 years to cut total cost by 40 to 50%, in-state tuition schools, trade certifications that cost $15,000 to $25,000 and command $60,000 to $90,000 starting salaries in skilled trades. We're at the halfway point, and if you're recognizing yourself in any of these, that's actually great news. Recognition is step 1. Make sure you're subscribed so you get part 2 of this series where we cover the exact index fund strategy to redirect all the money you're about to recover. Drop your biggest takeaway in the comments right now. I read every single one.